Welcome to the Whiskey After Work podcast. This is where booze meets business. I'm Doug Shaw, owner of Peach State Business Brokers and Advisors.
And I'm Melissa Hergert, owner of Brain Train Centers.
We are serial entrepreneurs that love to learn from other successful professionals and love to drink whiskey. Hello, Melissa.
Hello, Douglas.
I would like to welcome you.
Who, me?
You.
Yeah, me.
To the Whiskey After Work podcast. Well, recorded live.
Yeah.
From beautiful downtown Marietta, Georgia.
Beautiful.
In the Low T Nation Tale of Two Wolves studios.
It's beautiful here. I love this studio.
Good folks here, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And an episode that is brought to you by
Brain Train Centers,
Keystone Realty Group, and Peach State Business Brokers and Advisors.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Low T Nation.
Of course.
So we have got a really cool guest with us today. You've been called cool before?
I appreciate the introduction.
I think that might be
Called
the
worse
word.
sometimes.
Longtime friend.
He's my longtime friend. You haven't known him that long.
I've only known him
friend.
for like 4 years.
It just feels that way. That's how
Only 4 years.
Yeah, I've
That's
only
the
known him
effect
for
I
4
have on
years.
people.
Right.
Mr. Michael Vigdorov.
Oh, you still can't pronounce my name. It's not that difficult. We haven't drank yet.
Okay, all right. What is it? I've
called
drank.
Vigdorov.
Is that what it is?
How
it's
do I-
Vigdorov.
That's how I said it.
Vigdorov.
Vigdorov.
He had a silent C, if you will.
Gross.
It wasn't silent if you could hear it.
Very true.
True.
Michael Vigdorov.
There you go.
Ooh,
Perfect.
that
See?
was good.
That sounds, yeah.
You were going to say that sounds
Re-
sexy, didn't
yeah,
it? Weren't you?
Real estate agent
my name again.
extraordinaire.
Say my name.
I'm going to give you the business used to be called All Square Homes. Did you not? Did you change it recently?
All Square Homes team, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike is, like I said, okay. I've known him for about 4 years. Melissa has known him since she was knee high to a grasshopper. She's known him forever. And
It's not true, but we do both come from West Coast.
no,
Okay.
you don't.
Side?
Yes, we do. He did live in California.
But he didn't come from there.
Well, I know he didn't come from there, but
I
I'm
came
just
here
saying.
from there.
Yeah, he came here
Okay.
from there, just like I came here from there.
Oh my God.
Okay, get to the point. Did you get his
Technicalities.
wife to?
Oh my God. Yeah. They
I can't
they
wait.
texted me all kinds
I
of stuff.
can't wait. Let's hear it. Let's hear about Michael.
About Michael, you know, he was born in Russia.
Yes.
Moscow.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Mother Russia. And moved out of Russia when he was like 10 years old. And I'm really going to let him tell the story because he knows it, right?
Yeah. So you just
But,
give snippets, please.
I don't even want to give snippets. I think I'm
Okay,
just going
fine.
to let him tell it real quick.
Okay, good idea.
Real quick. How much time you got?
No, please.
Oh,
Hit it.
Short and sweet.
Yes.
No, you just talk as long as you want
10
to.
years old, child
I
of an
got it.
immigrant. We were refugees of the communism fall 1989. And the immigration process took you through a few different countries because the United States wouldn't just accept anybody.
Yeah.
So we went first to Austria, where we stayed for about 3 weeks. But when you leave Russia, because you're a refugee, you only get 2 suitcases per person.
Wow.
And the big memory from that time when I was 10 years old was that we had nothing. Like when you leave, 2 suitcases per person, that's it.
Yeah.
No money, no jewelry, nothing was allowed. So apparently I was a mule, which I found out later. That once we hit Austria and got off the train, my parents went for my shoes. And I was like, why are you guys going for my shoes? You know, that's all the shoes I got.
Right.
Apparently I had money in my shoes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was one way that they smuggled some money out. And apparently
Wow.
my jacket had some pockets in there that had my mom's earrings and rings and stuff.
Wow.
So that's the way you leave a country with nothing. Yeah. But then 3
Wow.
weeks in Austria where I learned Dutch. I was able to communicate a little bit and made money at 10 years old collecting bottles for
Wow.
recycling. Yeah. So that was fun.
Wow.
Then we went to Italy. There we stayed for about 6 months, awaiting entry into the United States while our relatives were completing paperwork and stuff. So learned Italian and dealt in bicycles. So
Wow.
fixing bicycles with my dad. So this is all while I was, 10 years old.
Crazy.
That's when we left. And then finally we got approved, came to LA, with nothing.
Yeah.
And my parents worked day and night and went to school. My only claim to fame from there was when I went to Garden Street Middle School.
Mm-hmm.
And that was elementary, Garden Street Elementary School. And that's where Michael Jackson went.
Oh. Not at the same time as you?
No, of course not.
No, of course not.
I'm not that old.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
not.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
My
Sorry.
goodness.
Okay.
Ouch. So
Sorry.
he came to the school.
Oh.
And kind of entertained everybody.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my claim to fame. But I'm not from Georgia, obviously, as Doug has already pointed out. Thank you very much, sir.
I'm not either.
True.
I also found out that I'm a damn Yankee, apparently.
Why? Because you're from the
Well,
West?
no,
What?
there's a difference between a Yankee and a damn Yankee.
Why?
That is correct. I just recently learned that.
And why is that? What is a damn Yankee?
Damn Yankee comes here and stays.
Oh. Oh. So it doesn't matter where you're from. They still call you a Yankee here? Like,
Pretty
we're
much.
from the West Coast. We're not Yankees.
I am a
pretty
damn
much.
Yankee. As a matter of fact, my LLC for my business is TDY Consulting, and it stands for that damn Yankee.
Oh, my God. Of course
I love
it
it.
does.
Own it. Why not?
Of
Yeah.
course.
So, yeah, came to Georgia as fast as I could by way of a U-Haul.
Why Georgia?
So I worked a few jobs right out of high school and college, and then I worked for a computer company, database analysis. That's a hard word to say.
I know.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, they got bought out, and their base was out here in Atlanta, Georgia, and they
Okay.
flew me out here and wined and dined me and showed me all the beautiful things about it, and that's where we
That's
are.
why you choose.
So that's the short form.
What year was that?
2001.
Oh.
Yeah, so I lived here more than half of my life.
Oh, I haven't yet, and I'm.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I've been here way more than half my life now.
Georgia's great. Love it.
I talked to my oldest daughter yesterday, and she's kind of deciding, she graduates here in a week and a half with her master's from Penn State, and she's going to stay up there for a year, but she's trying to decide. She can work remote, and she's trying to decide where she wants to move to, and she's like disappointed that Atlanta keeps popping up at the top of her list. And I'm like, why are you disappointed? It's a great city. I mean, if you're young and professional, especially
Yeah,
right now,
that's true.
with the Beltline and that, it's a great city to live in.
It is cool. It's cool down there.
So yeah, I wouldn't mind having her back an hour or so from me. I mean, it's
Sure.
close enough. I'm not just going to drop in.
Hopefully not.
No.
Yeah.
There's a lot of transplants here. I mean,
Yeah.
there's very
Oh, yeah.
few people that I meet that are from Georgia.
Yeah.
Who grew up here.
I
Oh,
agree.
I mean, Kristen, you're not from here, are you? Yeah, you are.
I've been here since I was 9 months old.
Oh, she's 9 months.
Oh,
That's pretty much from here.
close.
I
Yeah.
can't call it, but I
True. Terry Abraham's from here. We
Yeah.
bring her up a lot.
I know
That's
we
'cause
do.
We love
re-
her.
Yeah, we probably
We
need
love
to
you,
bring
Terry.
in her one of these days and have her on the show.
Yeah.
Terry's owns a counseling service here in Marietta,
Yeah.
and she's just good people.
She is.
So
But yeah.
I do bring her up a lot because she's like our mom, right?
She
And
is.
she listens to the show and then just bitches at me. Why did you say that?
Well, she's so easy to talk to.
Yeah,
It's
she
just-
is.
I meet with her at a coffee shop once in a while, and just time flies. We look at our
Oh,
watches
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, it's been an hour and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah.
So all that's great. You move here, but I want to hear about your wife.
Me too. When did you meet her?
Oh my gosh.
She's way cool.
Yes, she is way cool. Yeah, so that story is also very interesting. She came to the United States as an au pair to
Oh.
find a job. And we met because I was working at a bank. I was a teller. That's one of my few jobs early
Okay.
on. And we went on a couple of dates, and it was great. And 23 years later, here we are still
convinced
together.
her.
Where did she come from as an au pair?
Oh, Finland.
Yes.
Finland.
That's kind of a cool place.
It is.
It is, yes. And she's from very northern Finland, almost by the Arctic Circle, about an hour away from the Arctic Circle.
Wow.
Lakes and moose.
Yes, Lakes Moose and Santa.
And Santa, that's
And
right.
Santa!
Yeah,
And-
Santa's from Lapland.
It's Santa!
Yes.
Like that.
And saunas.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
outdoor
so I got a
saunas?
crazy story about saunas if you...
I
How
want
about
to
it?
hear
Go
it.
ahead.
Let's hear it.
So this was, gosh, must have been 2009 or 10. We went to visit her side of the family with all the kids and everything. And we went in June, which is really wonderful in the north like that because the summer nights, there is no night. It's daylight the whole time, 24 hours a day. The sun barely goes down, touches the horizon, and jumps right back up.
Wow.
Literally, there's no night. So we went partying with her friends, and it was her 10-year high school reunion. That's right. So it has to be right around 2009. And so her friends were there. Everything's cool. We're having dinner. Everything's fun. You know, there's a group of maybe 20, 30 people. Everybody's drinking. So first Finnish people they look like very standoffish and mean. But when they drink, they become best friends. And their English is perfect. Everybody's like, oh, my English is so bad. No. My English is bad. You guys are perfect. You guys are actually speaking the proper English. So anyway, it gets late, and all of a sudden, I don't understand what they're saying. They're speaking their language, and everybody's taking off their clothes.
Oh.
And I'm like, what in the world did I get into here? And I imagine my wife is like, what is happening? He's like, oh, they're all going to sauna. I was like, what? No, we're not going to sauna. I said, don't worry about it. The boys go one, the girls go in the other one. It's not
That doesn't
together.
make it any better.
Thank you.
Why
Doug.
not? You guys
Thank you very much.
nerd
I was
balls.
like, no, I don't think I'm ready for that. And so that was my
ready
very
for
quick.
So you did not do it?
We did not. No, I didn't go to
Did she?
public sauna. No, we both left at that point.
Oh, bummer.
Go find a private sauna.
Why?
Which every house in Finland has a sauna in it.
That's so cool.
Every time you take a shower, you go to the sauna afterwards to kind of dry off or before, whichever you prefer.
That's so cool.
Coffee, they're the highest connoisseurs of coffee in the world.
Well, yeah, it's
Wow.
freezing there.
True. Yeah, it's pretty cold.
That's cool. You know, have you guys heard of Jeju? It's over in Duluth.
No.
It's an Asian spa that it's 24 hours, and you could go in and it's nude, and there's different rooms, a cold room, a hot room. You could pay for like foot services, but it's all nude, and there's one that's co-ed, and then some that are women.
Sounds like
only,
a
men
good place to get arrested.
No, it's not like that. It's for health. Jeez
Yeah.
Louise, you scaredy cats.
Yeah. Well, we did.
Wait, so you've never been skinny dipping?
No, I've not.
Oh,
Skinny
boring.
dipping.
How about you?
Of course I have.
Oh, good.
Okay. Not even in my own pool. I had a pool in my own house. Never went skinny dipping. No.
Boring.
Not my thing.
How did he end up with 2 kids?
I mean, I don't know. All right, then yes. So he
yeah,
does have
she's-
2 boys.
Yeah, so she's very cool. She's from Finland. She actually works for the district attorney, and she's a victim witness advocate.
Mm,
Yeah, very cool.
very cool.
Very difficult, stressful job,
Yeah.
and it's like a calling almost.
Yeah. And I say it a lot on these shows. He outkicked his coverage.
Yeah,
Kicked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
outkicked the coverage.
definitely. Yeah, she's
No,
really cool.
Sarah's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So tell us a little about, I mean, you got here, you got into, for somehow or other, you came here to work for this tech company or whatever, and then you ended up doing real estate.
Mm-hmm. Well, I bought my first house when I was 23. It was a townhouse foreclosure. It was 2004, 2003, whatever it was. My kids were 2 and 1. And it was foreclosure, and I just really enjoyed fixing it, like putting in floors and tearing out kitchens and putting in another kitchen. And YouTube was my best friend.
Wow.
And so was Home Depot, actually. They I think they still run.
They teach a lot of classes.
They still run classes every
Yeah.
Saturday. So that's a good place to learn things.
Super cool.
And I just caught the bug and sold that, bought another one in 2007, right before the crash, like in November of 2007. Bought another house, also foreclosure, right here on the square, Marietta Square.
Yeah.
Got to be specific.
That's right.
Marietta Square.
Yeah. Lots of squares popping up now.
Yeah, and bought that house and just within 3 years collected some equity in it. And my lender in like 2010 said, hey, we have a list of houses and you have good credit. would you like to buy an investment property? And I was like, what's that? And she's like, well, it's a house you buy, renovate, and have somebody rent it from you. I was like, sure, let's try it. So my first house I bought was in East Cobb, and it was like $100,000, another foreclosure, torn up walls and everything. I don't know why people tear out their walls when they leave.
That's weird.
It is very strange. I could understand taking appliances and other things, but just
they
putting
literally
holes in the walls for no reason. And
Are they, like, punching
Sometimes
the
banks
walls?
will pay people not to tear the place up before they leave.
really,
Wow.
that made no sense to me.
That's so strange.
Yeah, so I bought 2 or 3 houses a year. Some I renovated and resold, and some I kept for rentals. And just 2015, 16, I had competition. First, the house was competing for me, and now I was competing for the houses. So I just really enjoyed helping folks move in that were renters. And I really didn't charge them like too much money. I think it was a reasonable
You were
rent
fair.
amount where they were able to buy a house in 2 or 3 years. And I saw how it made them feel owning their own home. And that feeling right there is really what drove me to get my license and help others have that feeling.
That's really cool.
Good deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've been pretty good at it. You got quite the reputation around here,
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah, I would say about, actually, I wouldn't say. I know exactly my 92% last year of my deals were all referrals.
That's great.
I know it's funny. It's not like we seek each other out, but we keep crossing paths and doing deals together, and
Right.
whether it be commercial or investment or whatever. And we've got one under contract now, and it's funny. I mean, bought, sold, brought clients to each other. It's
That's how it should be.
no, you're right. That's how it should be, and that we should say too that you'll hear people on here keep talking about our Wednesday meeting, but Michael's part of our Wednesday mastermind also,
Yeah.
and has been part of our meetings he's been in your meetings for how long?
Since I started it. Did you came to my office? You
There
were one
was
of the first
5 of
ones.
us.
Like Steve Worrell and Austin Harris. I saw Austin Harris yesterday.
Yep.
He was around the square the whole day, but yeah, I started my business the same time you went into real estate.
Yep.
And I met Austin Harris at a network group that I found on Meetup up in Cartersville. And it was me, Austin Harris, and the person that was hosting it. And I looked at Austin and I was like, where are you coming from? And he's like, oh, right by Marietta Square down Whitlock. And I was like,
And Austin's a financial advisor,
yeah.
correct?
I'm like, I'm down Whitlock. And he's like, where? And we realized he was in the white buildings and I was in the brick buildings back to back. And I was like, if I start a meeting, will you come to it? And he's like, sure. So I started it the next week. And then how did you find us?
Oh my gosh. Glad that you asked. As a matter of fact, that was my first year in real estate.
Yes.
And I did a lot of door knocking
Yeah.
because I have no clients. I don't know anybody here. So
Yeah.
how do you find clients? You door knock.
Right.
So I door knocked my neighborhood the week before.
Yeah.
And then here comes Austin knocking on doors. And some of my neighbors was like, is this guy from your team? Why is he knocking on our doors?
At the same time.
Well, he was a week later.
Okay.
He was like, we just told you, if anything happens, we'll definitely work with you.
Yeah.
We're great neighbors. We have 4th of July parties right on the driveway. And we
Yeah.
can watch the fireworks from the square. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's how I met Austin. I came over to him. I was like, hey, man, I already door knocked this area. There's no more real estate here. He's like, oh, I'm an Edward Jones
Financial
advisor. I'm a
advisor.
financial advisor. I was like, oh, great. Let's chat. I'm a realtor. I'm just starting out. And he's also starting out.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, there's this group that meeting. Let's,
That was my group.
yeah.
But there was nobody. Yeah.
coming out and meet some new folks. And that's how we started.
That's how we
Austin
started.
is a great.
He's so great. He was
Yep.
good to see yesterday at Marietta Perks.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we've known each other a long time. One of my best memories about Michael Vigdorov, he went to Russia. You went back like for vacation or something. And you,
No, my grandmother's.
oh, was it? That's when. Well, he brought back chocolate and one of those Russian doll
Yeah,
keychains.
that was not horribly long ago, was it?
Yeah, you didn't know.
I went
That
there
was
every
a
year,
beef-
but my last grandmother passed away in 2019. So that was the last time I've been there.
Okay.
Was it? That's when you brought back the Russian doll for me?
Possibly.
Yep. So I didn't.
No.
Yeah, 19 was the last time I went.
I remember when he brought it back. I do remember that.
Really?
Yeah.
The gift for me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best. That was in 19.
So you know what else he brought as a gift?
Yes.
A bottle of whiskey.
Woo woo.
Yes.
I got to tell you, I'm a little more excited about this one than the last time you brought us a bottle of whiskey.
Oh my gosh, but that was the best ever. That was so funny.
we had a great
very
we had a
memorable.
great bring your own bottle tasting and during COVID.
That was so
and,
fun.
And we did it at your old office, and he brings this bottle of Lusty Claw.
It's a great looking bottle.
It's a
though.
great
It's
looking
so
bottle.
cool. The top's so cool.
But it's like he
Oh, it was
totally got
so
took. I think
horrible.
Mike was just getting started with bourbon.
Yes.
And he went in looking for Blanton's for his clients to give away his client
is
gifts,
correct.
and they didn't have any Blanton's because you can't find the stuff. And they said, "Oh, but we got this other, and it's every bit as good as Blanton's, and they sell, and it's as expensive as Blanton's too." And they sell him this Lusty Claw bottle,
Someone
but
said it was just as good.
Yes. That's how it was sold to me.
so
Oh.
he brings it to us at this tasting and pulls out his phone, and as he's introducing his whiskey, he's reading the reviews off of the internet for this whiskey, and I was on the floor.
They were
Oh, they were. I
hilarious.
mean, every single person was like, "Cool bottle. This stuff sucks."
Yes.
Yeah. It's horrible.
And I got to tell you, it lived up to its
Oh.
reputation.
It was.
It
Yeah.
was
That was
so
gasoline.
It was pretty
horrible.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I bet you still have that bottle.
No, I got rid of it. But
What'd
I
you
still
do,
have the
pour
top.
Did you
it
give
out?
it to?
I have the
Did you give it
top.
to somebody?
Yeah, you have to keep the top. Definitely give it as like a
We call it
white
now.
elephant
You're getting
gift.
ready to learn a new whiskey term, bourbon term. When a bourbon is so bad that you can't give it away, and it's so bad you don't even want to mix it, it's called a sink pour.
Ah,
And
Yes,
you,
Pour
that's
that
exactly
shit
what
out.
happened to that
yes,
one.
you poured it out.
Yeah.
You kept the
Was.
bottle or the top.
Kept
and,
the top,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
and lesson learned, moved on.
ugh.
And I've met people that actually like that stuff, and then I immediately looked at them and thought, I don't need you in my life.
You're
That
dismissed.
was really bad whiskey, and to pay as much as I did for that whiskey, that was pretty bad. So,
But
yeah,
it
that's all right.
made a great night and
It was.
hilarious
But-
and
And Doug has
Great.
stories like forever and ever.
yes,
Oh no, that'll be
seriously.
one of my favorite
Yeah.
tasting stories ever.
Yes, definitely.
Everybody was had
That
tears
was-
in their eyes.
Everyone was dying.
So what did you bring today, though? I guarantee this one's not going to be bad.
Yes, I can pretty much guarantee that as well. It is Uncle Nearest Rye, 100% rye. And I went to Nashville, Tennessee to watch one of my son's games. He plays for UAB Blazers Division I soccer,
Nice.
Yep, that's very cool.
and actually won the
Yes.
game.
Woo, congrats.
So on the way back, I kept thinking, I need to buy some whiskey. And obviously I forgot. So we're driving back, and we're almost at the border, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to buy whiskey. So we stopped at, I don't even know what street it was, where it was. It was very dark. And liquor store was still open at 11 p.m., which
Nice.
kind of tells you that kind of neighborhood that it was.
Yep.
Gas station and liquor store, that was it. And so I walked in there, and I talked to the clerk, and I said, look, I want something local. And I like Old Forester. And he's like, hey, I got something that's like Old Forester. And so he brings out this Uncle Nearest and kind of tells me a little bit of a story of how it came about and where it came from and where it's sourced and everything. So I have a few bottles, actually. I bought a couple of the rye because I like to drink rye, just Old Forester rye. But there's a few different varieties of what they're selling, and I'm sure Doug knows a lot more about this than I do, so I'm going to...
Have you had this one,
Okay,
Doug?
so I have not had the rye. The bourbon is ridiculous good. So Uncle Nearest. Uncle Nearest was the nickname of the black man who taught Jack Daniels how to distill.
Wow.
And I don't want to say that that his story was buried in history, but it was never brought to the forefront. It was
Sure.
always kind of like one of those stories that people knew in the industry, but nobody ever really brought it out.
Yeah.
And I think it's like his great granddaughter or something now. She actually, I think, was the Master Distiller of the Year last year.
Wow, that's cool.
She decided to get these recipes, these mash bills from her great grandfather, and I can be corrected on that, but it is, she's a
Actually, it says right
Something
here,
like that.
my great-grandfather always did everything with excellence, and he would be so proud of this premium rye.
Oh,
There you go.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
so it is great-great-grandfather.
So
Yes.
and
So
and
cool.
stuff, everything I've had so far has been fantastic. When we had the Castle and Key tasting last year, we had a bunch of ladies from the Black Whiskey Society come, and I'm trying to get a hold of the lady that's the head of the Georgia chapter to come
Cool.
and be a guest.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But they actually had met with the distiller and stuff and been to the distillery. And but I got to tell you, the bourbon's fantastic. So I'm really excited for the rye. I'm not a big rye guy, but we had some, we've had some ryes and
We've had some good
yeah,
ryes.
some really
well,
good ones.
let's try
So
it.
Sure.
let's open this up.
For me, with whiskey, it's all about the tastes, textures, and kind of the smells too. So I really like chocolate when I have my whiskey,
And the Russian
And chocolate goes good with rye too.
and I also like a
Oh,
good
God.
cigar.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Little. Oh, oh boy. Okay, that little one's.
That's all right.
That's
Okay.
not even little.
Hey, wait, these aren't my glasses.
I
Oh yes,
know.
sorry. So the story about the glasses, these are actually from Finland,
Oh.
and they are designer glasses that only are available in Finland.
That's cool.
And they're guaranteed to make the whiskey taste even better.
For sure, absolutely,
Absol-
and they're
duh.
blue, so they kind of match my jacket. so.
They're beautiful.
You do
They're
have a lot of blue
beautiful.
jackets.
I love the
Thank
blue
you.
on you, and the blue is just great color.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Oh, this smells good too.
it's very sweet
Oh,
smell.
smooth.
You can smell that rye.
Cheers.
Did you see the tasting wheel?
I did. Yes,
We're going
it's
to talk
right in
about
front
that in a second too.
of me. Okay.
All right, so
All right, let's-
cheers.
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 How would I say that in Russian? What is it?
Na zdrowie.
Oh,
Very nice.
okay.
And how do you say it in Finnish?
Oh my goodness. Salute. I don't know. No, that's Spanish. I have no idea how to say it in Finnish.
Oh.
That's a very good point. So I'm very bad Russian. I don't drink any vodka.
Well, you said they speak really
What?
good English there, so
What?
cheers.
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 Yes, cheers.
Oh wow.
It's almost like a cognac.
Yeah, that almost doesn't taste like
delicious.
whiskey.
No,
That is
yeah.
delicious.
That is really good whiskey.
That's my new favorite. I said that on the last one. This is my new favorite.
Yeah, but this is okay. So you
Oh
get your
wait,
wheel.
and then is there like cinnamon or something at the end?
I caught cinnamon, but the floral,
Yes, floral for sure.
and it's not as spicy as I thought it would be for being 100%
No.
rye.
That shit's delicious.
It is really good.
That is wow. I'm confused right now because it doesn't taste like a rye whiskey. It does. It's almost got a cognac taste
It's
to
like
it.
vanilla, flour, and cinnamon.
And thick.
Fuck.
Yeah, thick.
Fuckums.
For a second there, I thought he slid some Henny in on us.
Yum. That's delicious.
Oh Lord, we
Yeah.
might be hammered by the end of this one.
Yes.
Wait, is it better with chocolate?
It is.
Oh.
I love it. with
Can it
chocolate.
be?
That's-
Can it be any
So what is
better?
this Russian
Does
chocolate you
anybody have
brought?
any,
Oh, God.
a nut
I am-
allergy?
No.
Addicted to this chocolate.
You don't have any nut allergies, do you?
No, you've given me this chocolate before.
Uh,
Do you want
May
to, Kristen? Do you want a piece of chocolate?
Yeah.
Throw it. Boom. You have to
All right.
try
Nice
this one.
catch. Yeah, bring a glass over here.
You have to. This
Those
is
three
so
are clean
good.
right there.
Yeah.
In front of the crackers.
we're getting the producer into this. Excellent.
Yes. It's too good to skip.
So this is Russian chocolate. It has hazelnut in it, and it's dark. Dark chocolate with
Hazelnut.
hazelnut.
Yum.
So.
I've eaten some of this before when you had
Yeah.
it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's delicious.
My nose and mouth.
Yes. Smell. Ew, not like that. She went.
Reminds me of college.
Don't deep throat it, Kristen.
All right, well, just taking it from you.
That's after a couple more shots.
Yeah, a couple more and some red wine after. Oh, no? Is that delicious? Wait, I gotta try chocolate.
That's great.
Ooh, that is good.
Please don't smack in the microphone. Ew, God, no.
Sorry.
I'm just, it was Doug, not you.
But that,
It's hard not to smack with that.
right? So chocolate with a little bit of whiskey.
That's
That leaves a
chocolate.
really good,
I'm
really
in
good
heaven.
texture and taste.
You're my new favorite guest, my new favorite rye, my new favorite chocolate,
And I'm cool, so.
and you're cool, and you're in blue. You're
Uncle
just the perfect
Nearest
package.
Rye. That
Package.
is.
You're
that
gonna
has
go buy
knocked it
some,
out of the
aren't
park.
you?
Yeah, I might have to get some of that.
Yeah.
What's the proof on that?
100, isn't it?
It's 100 proof. 100 proof and 50% alcohol.
Yep.
Yeah.
That will get the job done.
That's
Yeah.
delicious.
Delicious. Very
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, a little Monte Cristo and that and a piece of chocolate. That's a good evening.
I like blondies,
Okay.
the acid cigars.
I also like the, what's it, something rose?
I don't know. I haven't
It's a
tried
cigar. It's kind of sweet.
that. Is it an acid?
I don't think so. No, it's something rose, either a sweet rose or...
Oh, I'll have to check
Yeah.
it when we. Do you ever go to the cigar cellar up on
I've
Cup?
never been a cigar seller, no.
You come
We
with
need-
us sometime.
Yeah, we need to fix that.
Oh,
We're due.
you'll love it. It's
Alright.
beautiful in there, and they have live music on the weekends, and we love going
When do you
there.
all go?
When?
Yeah, well, what
Oh,
day?
just random times.
Some days? Okay,
Yeah, when we're like,
gotcha.
yeah,
Well, good.
We definitely
That is
gotta go.
delicious.
Yeah.
yeah,
Excellent.
really good.
So
It's better
it
than Lusty Claw, huh?
is way
Oh,
better than Lusty
God.
Claw.
Please.
But once again,
So-
I listened to the store clerk. So,
Well.
you get some good, you get some bad.
Yeah.
So something we've really been hitting on quite a few of these other episodes is involvement in community.
Okay?
And if I remember right, you're not afraid to put on a pair of high heels.
True.
Interesting you bring that up. So we're sitting in Marietta on Marietta Square, and I've actually announced at the Marietta High School for the last 6 years.
For soccer.
Soccer.
Yes.
Yep.
Did soccer announcing for the last 6 years. And you mentioned my walk a mile in her shoes experience, because that really stood out with you, I guess.
You're the only person I know that's strapped on some high heels and done
Red.
it twice.
And they're red.
Yeah, so it's for domestic violence awareness. My wife is, again, part of the victim witness advocates, and it brings awareness towards domestic violence, which has really spiked after 2020,
Oh, yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And the DA does it. Both sheriffs actually were in the last one.
Oh, very cool. Good.
Yeah, so
That's great.
yeah, domestic violence is pretty violent and not a good thing.
It's
No,
not.
so what is this? What is this thing you do? I mean, you put on shoes. You
And you walk
you
a
literally
mile.
go walk a mile in a pair of
In
high
high
heels.
1
heels.
mile in high heels. Yeah.
Red high heels.
You
I
re-
want to see you do this. Do
No.
women do it too?
Yep. Some women do come.
Yeah.
It's mostly men though.
Okay.
Mostly fire and police and some
Wow.
other people from the community.
That's very cool.
I sponsored that event and I participated in it 2 years in a row. This is going to be third year.
When is it?
I believe it's in October. That's the Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Okay.
Yes.
Doug,
What?
you should do it.
We'll see.
Does anyone wear red flats? I don't want him to break a hip.
You can do flats.
I
Sure.
am getting pretty old.
If you're a wussy. Hey,
Is
my
that really necessary to drop shit like that when you're talking about domestic violence? I just think this is inappropriate. Hey, right now would be a good time to remind you
Yes.
that the opinions expressed
Right.
on this show are of the moron who says them and
Yes.
nobody else.
Not the business, not the.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but it's all on record now.
I know.
It
I
is.
feel so exposed.
Yeah. You are.
Yeah, I mean,
You are.
dozens of people will hear this.
Maybe 24.
Okay.
Jesus.
No, I mean, some of these episodes are pushing 100 listeners
There
already.
we go. We're
Yeah.
doing
Excellent.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just started.
Any other community things you're involved in?
I've done the clean the North Marietta Parkway with the Kiwanis.
Oh, that's great.
Kiwanis, a good group.
Yep. I volunteered for the Salvation Army, making the sandwiches for the summer lunch programs. So, yeah, I highly believe in any community activities and support local.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's important.
It is. Very important. So you're a vacation guy, too. Lots of vacations.
Well, I come from a Keller Williams background, and they're all about coaching and planning and visions and all that stuff. So one of the things that really stuck out to me is that the coach told me, if you don't schedule a vacation, you'll never take it.
This is true. My grandfather used to
True,
say it all
true.
the time.
And your big why is your family. So you got to make those memories with your family. And I made it my goal to every year, first thing I do is schedule 2 vacations, one week each, spread them out a little bit, and pay for them.
Always
great.
pay for them first.
Up
Yep.
front, yeah.
Pay for them up front and go.
Then the anticipation for the
Mhm.
vacation for the whole year is going, not worrying about how you're going to pay for it.
Yes.
And you can't make excuses.
No,
Yeah.
At that
none.
point.
It's already paid for.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep. So yeah, we've vacationed quite a bit with the kids. Did a bunch of cruises, traveled to different states. Just went to Paris last year.
Nice.
So
That's awesome.
that was
And what
wonderful.
great
You didn't take the kids to
memories.
that one, did you?
No, that was our first present to ourselves after all the kids were out
Aw.
in college. Yeah.
And one of your sons is in college in Finland, isn't he?
Yes, in Helsinki, Finland.
Yeah.
We're going there in June to bring him home.
Just for the summer.
Yes.
Do you need help bringing him home?
How cool.
You want to come with?
Right?
Yeah, I might have to go.
I want to
Yeah.
go. I'm planning a trip to Greece in September by myself.
Good for you.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So one of the things I also did was for both boys' graduation, I told them if they graduate with at least 3.5 GPA, which both of them graduated much better than that,
Of
like
course.
4.0,
Yeah.
they can have a 1 week trip to anywhere they wanted in the world.
Are they going together?
Well, my older son went to Switzerland for his.
Wow.
And he went by himself.
Cool.
And he just wanted to climb the Alps and do the villages and none of the touristy stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the younger one didn't want to go by himself, so I said, okay, fine, I'll get both of them to go.
That's
So they went both
cool.
together to Greece,
That's awesome.
but they went island hopping.
Oh.
Nice.
They didn't do any of the touristy
I don't want
stuff.
to do touristy stuff. I have like a
Yeah.
hotel stay already booked for 4 nights, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
They got on a boat, got into one of the islands,
Wow.
backpack, stayed at a hostel. Like,
Yeah.
it was a
I want to go meet like a local family and just go eat.
Yeah, 'cause
family
it's
dinner with
getting
them.
kind of late for
Mm-hmm.
you to be at a youth hostel.
Yeah, I know.
yeah. They had a blast. It
I
was
look
great.
young.
Greece was
You
blast.
act young too.
Yeah.
26, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter's teacher literally asked me if I was 27 the other day. I was like, thank you. She's like, you have a 12-year-old? You started really early. I was like, what?
Yep, that's my wife's story, and she's sticking to it.
Yeah, me too.
26.
Yeah.
I can't get away with that.
No, you definitely can't. You old as fuck.
Horrible people.
Absolutely. Travel is great. I mean, you get to get away and learn something about another place.
Culture.
Yeah. You just
Gosh.
get so regular with everything that you're doing around yourself.
Yeah.
It just gets all benign. And
It
then when you
really
go out
does.
somewhere, you're experiencing.
Yeah, I think it's
Things.
important. It's important to get a chance to see things in a different light, see how other people live.
Definitely.
You know, we grumble a lot about this country, but and we're not a perfect country, but we're trying to get better. I think. It doesn't always go the way you want it to, but every time I've ever traveled, I still was very happy to be back here. And
We're spoiled here,
yeah, I was
in my opinion.
listening to an interview with Ric Flair this week. He was on Joe Rogan, and he was talking about when he and Muhammad Ali kind of at the last minute decided to go to North Korea for this was supposed to be like this goodwill building thing, and this was obviously years ago because Muhammad Ali was with him. But he said he immediately regretted his decision, and he said as soon as he landed and they took his passport and stuff, he immediately regretted his decision. And he said they were on a private jet. They were supposed to be there 4 days, and they made him stay 7.
I would have never.
And
Why
he
would
said when they hit the ground, he got out and kissed the ground. He was so
Yeah.
happy to be back.
Yeah.
And I've taken, my kids both on international trips, and they've been on some on their own. But I think when I took my daughter to Costa Rica and we got off the resort and got back, headed toward the mountains, and she got to see these little, shanties, these little shacks that people were living in. Of course, we noticed we were driving by, some of them had like 50-inch flat screens in these little tiny shacks.
Right.
But she's like, people live there? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we have poverty here and we have poor people here, but
Yeah.
you get to some of these other countries and you really see
Oh, absolutely.
what poverty can
But
be
a couple
like.
of interesting things, right? We're used to where we are with what we're doing and what we're seeing. They're used to where they are,
Exactly.
what
And
they're doing,
what
what they're
they're
seeing,
doing.
and they're
Yeah.
really not looking to get out. Most
No.
of them.
No.
And there's places in the States that are the same way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's just a matter of what you're surrounded
Perspective,
with.
yeah.
Perspective
Yeah.
and what you're surrounded with. So
Yeah.
when we went to Paris, it's one of the things, like we want to live there. I wanted to buy an apartment there and just move there because it was so
Really?
nice.
Oh.
Well, the food was so much fresher.
Oh,
Everything
definitely.
tastes very different.
Yeah.
In Europe, everything tastes different.
Yes.
For one thing, they don't add corn syrup to everything.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and
Tons of sugar. And,
right,
Yeah.
and it's
yeah.
prepared fresh most of the time. Their baguette has like a special legal protection on it. In order to call it baguette, it has to come from a certain type of wheat.
Wow.
Yes, and cooked at a certain time.
Of course, you probably ate 2 pounds of butter with everything you put in your
I
mouth.
know, but their obesity is not.
Not.
It's
no.
like non-existent.
Right.
Europeans are like.
They don't add sugar to everything. They don't add corn syrup to everything.
Yeah.
McDonald's couldn't survive there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they eat their local food, and most of them are skinny, and
Yeah.
all the restaurants everywhere are full. So people, do
They
have
still eat and go out and drink. They drink lots of wine.
lots of wine.
And
Wine
they-
was cheaper than water.
Ah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Prague, it's my buddy that's the pilot. He says Prague, he can get over the fact that he can buy a bottle of beer cheaper than he can buy a bottle of water in Prague.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when we went to Paris, we have some friends that live in Luxembourg. They moved from the States to Luxembourg. And went to visit them. We went to a restaurant. I think I had like a 20-ounce beer. And my friend loves Dr. Pepper.
Ugh.
And so his Dr. Pepper was like €5. And my 20-ounce beer, which is a humongous
Yeah.
beer
that's
mug.
a big beer.
It's like a Stein.
Yeah.
That was only like €3.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's
Interesting.
a difference in that.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Travel is important. Yeah.
No, but I mean, my kids, I don't think they realize how lucky they are to have gone to places and seen the things and done the things that they did by now.
I know. I mean, my 12-year-old is about to go to Hawaii again for the second time, and there's like people that have never even.
I've not been to Hawaii yet.
I've not been to Hawaii.
I know, and
That's why it's
I'm taking
difficult.
her in June again.
It's not, I
second
mean,
time.
I'd like to go sometime, but my wife's already been, so there's other places she hasn't been that I'd rather go to.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many beautiful.
How long does it take to
places.
travel there?
We usually stop in San Diego for a couple days.
Okay.
So then from San Diego, it's still like I think a 3-hour flight from there. So when I went with Phil and the girls, it took us, I think, nonstop. I want to say it was something like 8 hours, eight and a
I'd
half
say
hours.
9 hours, something like
8
that.
to 9
yeah.
hours, yeah. And we took a late one, so we slept all night. So even my 4-year-old's been to Hawaii.
Yeah.
She had her birthday in Hawaii.
My wife found this world cruise that takes 3 years.
Oh, I saw that.
And you go to 115 different countries.
Wow.
So they've got it set up so you can actually work remote.
Oh my.
So they have
God.
the
I'm
suites have offices, little offices in them, so you can work remote. So they have real good high speed internet and everything, and and it's expensive.
No, it's not.
It's like $60,000
That's not
It's 30 grand per person.
expensive.
It's 60 grand per couple.
per couple.
Yeah.
That's not
60
expensive
and
for
it's-
3 years, and you get all the food.
Well, it's 60 grand per year.
Okay,
so,
per
so,
year.
So per couple. So it's $30,000 per person per year.
Okay.
But it includes all the food.
Yeah. How much do you spend on a house and food?
Well, you're not going to sell your house to go though.
Well, if you rent,
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm
She
breaking
just
my
told people to
lease.
rent, Michael.
No, I didn't. I said if you rent, then go on the cruise instead.
I mean, that's my retirement plan. I'm
Oh,
owning.
shoot.
I have rental properties.
Yeah,
that will
why
pay
not?
for whatever the retirement is.
Right?
So
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I did. I think it'd be really cool.
That sounds awesome.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good plan. Yeah.
So what do you got going on the rest of the year?
More work. I am going to Finland in June. Obviously, that's my first vacation, and we are taking our first Virgin cruise.
Ooh.
Adults only.
I'm looking at a
Oh,
Virgin
boy.
cruise.
Are
I'm
ya?
looking at a Virgin cruise in June, actually.
We're doing that in November.
Okay.
For Thanksgiving week.
I heard it's you know who goes on the Virgin cruise?
Baz.
BJ.
Baz.
Yeah.
Yeah, BJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he didn't know he doesn't do the
He doesn't
tour
do
stuff
travel
anymore.
anymore.
No.
But do you have a travel agent helping you?
I did go through a travel agent for that one.
Really? Can you send me the info?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, let me first experience it and see how it goes.
No,
I
I'm
gotta tell
going
you,
before you.
I am getting a little scared of it
Why?
because they keep sending me emails for getting some
Sex toys.
Credit? No. Credit.
So that was one of the cruises that he was talking
Yes.
about.
Baz went on one that was like a sex cruise, adults only.
No, this is not what that is.
Oh. No nude saunas.
It's just no kids, no nude saunas,
Oh,
or
I
jacuzzis.
bet upside
There's gonna
down
be some, I'm
pineapples.
Sure. Oh,
Do you
maybe,
know what that means?
Probably.
You know
could
what
be.
that means?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've been to Ackworth. Yes.
Oh, is that in Ackworth?
That's
It's
apparently
everywhere.
where there's several of those communities.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yes.
how funny.
Yep. But
Okay.
no, so what I'm getting afraid of is I'm getting email trying to get me to buy tab for the ship,
Okay,
and it's $300 for the whole week,
that's cheap.
unlimited.
That's cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's cheap.
Do it.
Yes, I mean I might do it, but
Why
then that
wouldn't
means, like,
you?
there's gonna be another 5,000 people that are hammered and
That's every
But
cruise
you can't
has that,
control
though.
them. You have to just
True.
control how much
Yeah.
you drink.
true.
And you
But that just
certainly
scares
aren't
me,
going to
so-
sneak any booze onto that thing. They check your shampoo bottles and everything.
Well, aren't you allowed to
Still?
bring?
Really?
No,
They start
you're allowed to
doing
bring one bottle of wine. Each person is allowed to bring one bottle of wine on a cruise.
I'm gonna bring this.
You cannot.
This is
They
some
won't
good
let you
whiskey.
have that.
No,
won't
only
let you have
wine.
that?
Only
No.
wine.
Oh, okay.
But that is delicious.
Mm. Somewhere
That's
out
gonna
there
be
on
fun.
the internets. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm gonna say this and share this over here.
Let's hear it.
Somewhere out there on the internets, I did share on one of my cruises that we went. I actually won a drink making contest. Right. Well, it involved a lot of drinking and dancing and stripping.
You
So,
did not.
Yeah, and there's a video out there somewhere.
Ooh.
We have to get it from his wife.
Well, yeah, because we're going to put that one up next on his Instagram so he can.
All I could say is good luck. I erased that thing
No,
from everywhere I
it's
could
still
possibly
out
erase
there.
it from.
Oh, when we got married, we went super clubs, and I think they're still around, kind of like Sandals and all that.
Oh, okay.
You know, the
Yeah.
resorts, and we did this thing called a super club surprise, and we were going to Jamaica, and they guaranteed that we'd save X amount of dollars by doing this. It was a set price, and 2 weeks before we left, they would tell us which resort in Jamaica we were going to stay at, and they did it based on their open bookings and that. So whichever one they had the least amount of bookings that week is where you pretty much get put. And so we ended up saving quite a bit of money, a couple $1,000, and they sent us to this place in Negril called Hedonism 2. And
Sounds kinky already.
oh my God. So they had a
Hedonism.
nude beach and a prude beach.
Ooh.
And we get there the first day, and I'm like, no freaking way I'm going to the nude beach. And, you know, blah, 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 shit. Day two, it was on like Donkey Kong. I was drunk, didn't care. Take off your, and because then you realize you're out there going, you know, you're worried about,
That's amazing.
you're worried about how you look naked or being around other people naked.
And then you see
and then you look around and go,
nobody
I look
cares.
pretty damn good.
Yeah. No.
The Walrus Sausage Fest, right?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what you're looking at.
Oh my God. Nobody cares. So
No.
I went to Cancun with a group like about 2 years ago, and me and this one girl, we get off the plane, like we meet for the first time when we both got off the plane, and we buy those huge liter drinks, and half of it's full of Patron. And mind you, I had only eaten one little sandwich that morning at like 6:30 in the morning. So by the time I get to the resort, I'm wasted just from that huge drink. And we make a pact that for the whole week we're gonna go skinny dipping in the ocean, and only girls are invited, but we're going skinny dipping every night. It was just me and her every night. Nobody would come with us.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, I know that we had done, you know, a bunch of activities and stuff where there, and we had done a body painting contest. And I'm like, I'm so glad nobody saw that, because my wife, you know, like painted me and anyhow,
How fun.
we get back. We had met several other couples there and that, and we get back from vacation. Like 2 weeks later, I get a letter in the mail from these people in Wisconsin. They're like, "Hey, it was really nice to meet you. Thought you guys might want some of these pictures." And my wife has hidden them. They're somewhere in the house. So,
That's so
and she said, "I'm
fun.
not getting rid of those."
Never. Blackmail.
Nah, I could care less now. You'd see those now and go, "Holy shit, is that the same guy? Look how skinny that guy is." But I don't know. I don't know if I get back to Jamaica. But man, that was a lot of fun back then.
That sounds fun.
A lot
what a
of
great
fun back
time.
then.
Some of the cruises go through Jamaica. We've been there a couple of times.
Montego Bay a lot.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the one. You're right. Correct.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So we came into Montego Bay, flew into Montego Bay, and drove to Negril.
Cool.
Had a bus,
Yeah.
little van. So It was a good time. I'd been to a few Caribbean countries, but that trip we took to the Virgin Islands was awesome too on the yacht.
I feel like that's the beauty. I'm going to bring it back to business
Uh-huh.
of like owning your own business and working really hard to be able to afford a lifestyle like that. Like, you know, you usually have to worry about your 9 to 5 and when you get your paid time off that you could use. But if you own your own business, you can just make those plans.
Well, and working for corporate America anymore in most positions, you can't turn work off.
I know.
You know, when I worked for that Medline, that big medical supply company, we had no set vacation days. We could have a reasonable and modest amount of time off as long as the manager approved.
Right.
But there was no unplugging. You had to
Be
answer your
available.
emails and stuff. And I mean, I remember my kids one time we were in Florida and my youngest daughter, like crying, "Dad, we're on vacation. Stop."
Yeah.
And, you know, that resonates.
It does. It does.
And the other cool thing about working for myself is, like, Mike, your wife works for the government, right? And you know, when you were married, your ex-husband, he had a corporate job. And so a lot of times they can't get off the premium times to go. But the cool thing
Right.
is when you work for yourself, when they say, "Hey, I can get this time off,"
Yeah.
it's not an issue. You go.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And that's one of the things that also kind of persuaded me to go out on my own, because the corporate world really puts this veil over your eyes, and it's like Kiyosaki, can't remember his name.
Yep.
Robert Kiyosaki
Robert
says,
Kiyosaki,
you're
yeah.
in the rat race,
Yeah.
and your brain is programmed, to be 9 to 5 in this comfort of a steady paycheck and vacation time and sick time, whatever, whatnot, and they just keep you in
And
a circle.
future retirement.
But you can't take your days when you want to take your days. And sometimes you take your days and your boss still calls you even though you're in
Yeah.
day off because they have no boundaries, if you will.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that transformed my thinking from, my 9 to 5 job was somebody else's passive income.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're a business owner, sure, you produce your own income, but you also control your time as well.
You
That's
do.
right.
But
That's
not-
right.
And you really haven't had a corporate job, have you?
I've always had small business, like
Yeah.
admin jobs, where I learned about small businesses by working in them. And
Well, I'm going to direct this question more than to Michael because this is something that I've had a real hard time with. I mean, I left the corporate world in December of 19. So, I mean, I've been here for a while,
Yeah.
right? I still struggle with this, and I want to see if you do too, is I constantly think that I've got to be working between the hours of 8 and 6, even though that I work in the evenings and on the weekends, and that I feel like if I'm not working or if I take time to go to the gym or I feel guilty about it. Do you still sometimes feel that way, or have you gotten over it?
I've gotten over it, and more so, I would say, have a good business coach. Have a coach that will help you with managing your time and managing yourself. Excuse me, you can't manage time. You can only manage yourself and what you do with the time. So time blocking is a huge thing for me. And my phone goes on silent after 7 p.m. And if somebody needs to reach me, a client or something like that, they will call, leave a message, text me, and I will reply first thing in the morning because really in real estate, there's no
emergencies.
really.
No,
There's nothing
and
you can do that late.
You're
anyway.
the one. You were doing this for a while, and I started doing it more and more, and that is letting calls go to voicemail.
Yes.
That's
and
what
not
it's there
having
for.
to answer right away.
Yeah, it's a disruptor, really. A phone call is a disruptor,
Yeah.
and the person leaves a message for you. Most of the time, if you get back with them in an hour or two, they've solved their own issues sometimes.
Yeah.
True.
Right? And if they leave you a message, then you actually have the time to analyze their issue and really call back with an answer rather than spending an hour trying to spin your wheels and think of what could be possibly to solve this issue.
Yeah. I actually keep my phone on silent now.
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
do. It dings so much.
Well, I've been getting on my wife about this too. Is I don't have any, like, there's no text things, no notifications. I can look and see if I got a text.
Yeah.
I don't. There's no, nothing other than the
Messaging,
ringer.
all
And
that. Yeah.
I go into a meeting. I usually just shut the ringer off. But now I've been using Do Not Disturb more and more.
I think
And
that
I
might
really
be
need
me
to
and
figure it
Kristen's
out
fault.
because No, yeah, that might be too. You guys love to call it all hours, but
3
I'm
a.m.
also and I've got to figure this out. So evidently, you can set your favorites on iPhone so that when you shut off and when you turn on do not disturb, that the certain phone numbers could still ring through. in
You
case
could do
there's
that
an
on
emergency.
Samsung too.
I don't know. I wouldn't own one of those shitty phones.
Oh God, here we go. Here we go.
Well, the funny thing is, anybody that needs to reach me that's family has my wife's phone number.
Oh, that's not fair.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise I would be on the phone constantly,
Right.
No, you're right.
24/7.
And that's the beauty of owning your own business. You can control.
You know,
like-
one of the other things Keller Williams teaches you is you have your own business to live a life worth living.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the time
Look,
and all of it.
For all their faults, Keller's got a great training program.
They do. It
It's
there's
for the first.
Yeah.
It's great for when you're first starting out. Yeah.
there's good things and there's bad things about it, and some people spend their lifetime there. I mean, when I started the
True.
team, part of my team came from Keller that was with them for like 20 years.
Oh.
They left, but they felt so compelled to come back that they came back to it, right?
Yeah.
And when I left now 3 years ago, goodness gracious, time flies.
Yeah, it does.
I've never looked back.
Yeah.
I'll never look back. So you use everything, you learn, you move forward.
Yes.
You fail forward, you move forward.
Yeah, you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
You learn
If
from
you're
your
not
mistakes.
failing, you're not trying.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
That's true.
100%.
You gotta fail to grow.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, it's just learning from that or picking up something from it.
And it's the people with like the grit and, being able to get through those failures to just keep moving on and pivot and
That's
do
what
all
I
that.
heard somebody talking about Elon Musk the other day, and the reason he's been so successful is because he takes stupid risks.
Mm-hmm.
And not stupid, and they're
Yeah.
pretty calculated on his
Right,
part,
right,
but
right.
risks, true risks where you're going to fail, and he's failed sometimes. And I think even Mark Cuban has done the same thing to an
Yeah.
extent, although he
Yeah.
took all that money he made from selling a couple of his .com companies
Mm.
and immediately reinvested it into other things. But the risk takers are the ones that are going to be the ones that make
Survive.
the big money.
For sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Cool.
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, I think we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to encourage everybody to follow us on Spotify.
Yep. Yep.
Listen to us. We can listen to us on just about any platform.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Apple, Audible, Google, YouTube. What else? We're on iHeartRadio. I just found that out the other day. I didn't even
That's
know we were on
cool.
there.
Very nice.
And of course, Spotify is our base camp. That's where we run everything through. But it spreads out through there. If you are following us and you haven't emailed me yet, email me at whiskeyafterworkpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know you're following. You can email me with ideas, complaints, guests, anything you want, questions.
Request to be a guest.
Yeah, request to be a guest. Prove to me that that you come on here and have a good time and talk some
Aren't
interesting
easily
stuff.
offended.
And when we hit 100 followers, we're going to give away a bottle of Blanton's. We just did give a bottle of Heaven's Door away last episode.
Yeah, that was cool.
So
Great guy.
Yep. And man, this has been so much fun.
Yeah.
I can't
Let
wait to do
Michael
a bunch
tell
more.
people how.
Yeah, I want. How can people get a hold of you if they want to talk real estate or want to learn how to put on a pair of high heels and walk a mile in their shoes?
Or invest. On
Sure,
your-
absolutely. So I do have a website. It's allsquarehomes.com. And my email address is michael@allsquarehomes.com.
Nice.
I'm available pretty much any day between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. and weekends and nights by appointment only.
That's right.
Yeah, and if you
Love
get a
it.
chance, get on his social media because this dude
Great
is
videos.
fearless.
Yes, that's what you got to do. It's
Yeah,
it's so fun.
there are some great videos
I
on
love
there, and
it.
until you've seen him in an afro wig doing the brick
Brick
house,
house. Love it.
you've not lived. So,
great.
Or taking my Porsche on the racetrack.
oh, I didn't even get to. You
Oh,
know
I
what?
didn't
We're
see
not
that
done
one.
quite yet.
Oh,
This guy's into Porsches,
Yes.
and he just goes on and on about this 911, and I see him in a Boxster one day. He was buying one to sell.
My little bitch basket.
Yeah, I don't care. And he was like always grumbling about Boxsters, and then he gets this one to sell, and I see him one day at the attorney's office, and I'm like, hey, man, what do you think of that car? And he goes, oh, I love it. It was a nice car.
It was very nice, absolutely.
And you
So-
sold it. You resold it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the sell. My passion's still my 911. I mean, that was my dream car since I think I was probably 12.
Cool.
So it's always been on my list of the things that I wanted to get for myself, and it was one of those things that I said, if I reach this goal in my year, I think it was 2019, that I would buy one. So
You want to know
I
what
reached
my
my
dream
goal.
car was?
what was it?
What?
A Cadillac Cutlass Supreme.
That's a boat.
I
It's
know.
not even a car.
It's from the hood.
Straight?
And I wanted hydraulics on it.
Oh,
and I
my
wanted it
God.
painted cotton candy
Yeah, I was going to say hydraulics on a caddy.
with some
If,
Dayton's.
if this girl didn't grow up in South
Jerry Curl,
California,
Let Me Ride. Is that what
Homie
it is?
Ave.
she grew up an hour from the Mexican border.
Wow.
I
Not
mean,
an hour.
How far?
Literally 20 minutes.
oh wow, even
Yeah.
closer.
And my whole neighborhood was Mexican Vietnamese.
So, except for her.
Homie Ave, West Coast,
I
off the
did.
94.
I did get a great text from a listener in Ohio
Did you? What?
who said, "When you called her white girl Melissa, I about pissed my pants."
That's what they called me growing
White
up.
girl Melissa?
Yes. They all watched out for white girl Melissa.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's right,
messed with
Gretchen.
me.
You're famous now.
Yep.
hilarious.
That's awesome.
So, well, hey guys,
All
until
right,
next
it's been
time.
fun.
Cheers.
Cheers.